Today's live stream is inspired by, I'm going to call this woman Sheba. It's a conversation I had this morning, and she signed up for Women in Italy. And I said, I'm going to quote you. I said, I'm inspired. I'm going to quote you. And she was like, okay. And still, I'm going to say her name is Sheba just to maintain her anonymity. So today, I feel like this is for multiple reasons. One, to inspire you to do your real thing on the internet. Like the thing that you truly feel called to do, the thing that inspires you, period. It inspires you. For a moment, just take away this wanting to help people thing that I know so many of us are in. Like you want to help people, you want to help people. And what makes you come alive? What makes you jump out the bed? What if you're like not feeling so good in the morning and you start really thinking about this particular thing? What is it that gets you to get up? You know, like what inspires you? What moves you? What is this goal that, like maybe you forgot about it. Like maybe you started taking action on it and you weren't getting the results as fast, or it felt hard and you let it go. And bring it back to the front. And is the fire still there? Is the juice still there? And so I want to encourage you, right? And part of my share today, I think, will lean toward that. And then also, I have about 25 minutes before I have to go. Also, this trusting life and why so many of us don't trust life. And so we knuckle through. We like grip to external things that we feel like are going to give us a feeling of security, a job, a man, this house, because I'm so scared of life and I've never been supported and my mama didn't love me and niggas hurt my heart. And so then you grab all these things because deep inside you're so insecure, right? And you're just scared just all the time. So then you never trust life. So you never get to how good it is. You never get to how good. And I was thinking like, so, okay, Naima, what angle do you want to take this at when you go live today to help people, to like really help people as much as I can in this 25-minute session? So let's start with the thing that gets you going. What gets you up? You know, what makes you like, girl, we got to figure this shit out, bitch, because I'm going to motherfucking Paris, bitch. Like, what's the thing that gets your juice going, that makes you like, girl, listen, I ain't got time to be scared no more, girl. Girl, I ain't got time no more to be being at this soul-sucking job. Wait, I got to go. Right? What is it? Does anybody here want to share right now? Is there anything that when you think of it, you cry because you want it so much, because it's so beautiful? Does anybody here have anything? If you do have it, put it in the comments. Do you have something? My hair shrinks so much. It shrinks so much. My hair shrinks so much. So nobody's sharing. So I'll share mine. Okay. So regardless of whatever, I have a passionate love affair with Italy. Passionate. I like who I am in Italy. I like how I live in Italy. I like how I enjoy myself in Italy. I like how I see in Italy. I like how I feel in Italy. I love the architecture. I love just the attitude, the Italian attitude. I love, it inspires my spontaneity. Like I'll just wake up and be like, I want to go to Venice today and go hop on a train and go to Venice. You know, I want to cook sometimes when I'm in Italy. Like you go into these butchers and boulangeries and they have the wide varieties of cheese and meats and oh my God. And then their appreciation for simple meals, fresh food, and taking simple ingredients and making something that tastes like it's from a restaurant. Their absolute respect, like pure, sincere respect for style, for expression through wardrobe. It has nothing to do with trying to impress you or show you how much money they got. It is a respect for fabrics, for expression, for looking good, for the generations of tailors in our family, for the appreciation of fine garments and fine materials. And the feeling, right? And the oldness, you go around some of these buildings like the Milano, the Piazza del Duomo, which is over 600 years old. And when you're present with that thing, you are impacted. There's no way something in you is not moved and opened and has you shift what could have been a tired mind, a frustrated, you've been exhausted, you've been frustrated, you've been doubtful, you've been afraid, and you stand in front of this behemoth that you're like, hands, how many generations of hands touch this thing for over 600 years, and it moves you when you're present with it. You go inside, you go to the top of it, and there's marble that dramatically abounds. I mean, we're talking about older than the United States of America, okay? And all these things just, I feel like I'm enveloped when I'm in Italy, and I love it. So regardless of whatever, I have a personal love affair for Italy. That gets me going. That makes me want to put together women in Italy so they can come and not only have their own experience, right? Because you're going to walk the streets yourself and see what you see and do what you do and be inspired how you are. But I also get to pour in my love affair into the curation of the things that we're going to do and choosing this and choosing that and ordering that and hiring that. That gets me going. What gets you going? What makes you remember that you are God? What makes you remember the bounty that is always available? What has you know it? Not what has you like hoping for it, trying to like affirm yourself into it. And there's nothing wrong with these like crutch elements if they work for you. Well, what is it that when you see it, when you think it, when you create it, when you imagine it, you just know? What environments do that to you? What songs inspire that in you? What foods, what sounds, what smells, what words, what people, what content reminds you that, oh my God, the kind of remembrance where humility just naturally triggers. Because when you are really struck, in order to even really be struck, there's a part of you that needs to be receptive to being struck. And so people who are like committed to negative, they can never be struck because their commitment is to how horrible life is. And there's no fucking God. Look at Gaza. Look at all the millions of starving children. Look at the government and Trump. And because they're so committed to that, they can never be struck by the bounty of life that would even inspire them to do the thing that would make the world better and the way that they can and that they are authentically moved by. So when you are struck in that way, because you're receptive to being struck and you feel the, oh my God, and I get to be here and experience this, the humility, the gratitude, and then when you're full, like it's undeniable. You're just like, oh my God, look at this. When you're full, very naturally, without even trying, without even wanting to, you want to give it to others. You want to pour, you want to say, come look, come look at what's here. Look at what's available. Oh my God, I saw this. I felt this. You can have it too. Let's go. This is what I mean by what gets you going. Because when you have it experientially, you no longer believe, you know. You don't need to say, well, the Bible said that I came that you have life and have life more abundantly. Because you know that there is abundance because of your experience of it. You don't need to point to where the Bible says, may they, and I'm paraphrasing the scripture about wine, but wine maketh merry, or something like that, but money covers all things, something like that. Maybe one of y'all know the the scripture verbatim. But you want to pour out. This is why I ask, what gets your juices, your fires, your remembrance of abundance going? Because then you can bring that to the world. Then you can help without even wanting to. It just streams through you. So answer yourself that. Write it down. Go sit down for 10 minutes without the internet and ask yourself with genuine desire to know, genuine curiosity, what gets me going? What do I not even have to want for? Because the seed of the desire is already in me dormant. And my job is to question it so that it reveals itself to me in my sincerity to see it. And then I can move from there. One, that's your assignment today. Okay. Next, I want to give a shout out to Sheba once again, who said to me on the phone this morning when I asked her, why did you sign up for Women in Italy? She paid in full. She was like, I'm coming. I'm excited. She paid in full. And I asked her, what are the two words that you would use to describe why you're coming and what you want to get out of this? The first thing she said was transcendence. She said, I feel like this is going to be a transcendental experience for me. The second thing she did is because I know that there's so much good. And when I look at your marketing, when I look at your live streams, I know that this is feeding the part of me that knows that there's so much good. And it humbled me and it inspired me and it encouraged me because I think to myself, do people feel this in my content? Like, do they really see it? And I asked her that. I said, because I wonder if I'm communicating that in my content. She said, yes, you are. There's so much good. And the third thing she said was connection, because there's all the feminine work that we're going to be doing together to really hit at those darker parts that cause us to procrastinate, to be scared, to have projects that we're excited about, but somehow we can't get started in powerful ways, or we start and we stop, and we start and we stop, and we start and we stop. And next thing we know, is 7 years later, we're older, we have a health scare, we're starting to see our aging, and we see how much time we have wasted. And the frightening feeling of that then triggers us into, I gotta move. No, I can't waste my life on TikTok anymore. I can't waste my life in fear anymore. So shout out to Sheba. Shout out to Sheba. So today is the last day to put your $1,000 deposit in for Women in Italy. It doubles after today. Okay, so $1,000 holds your space in Italy. If you are ready to affirm that there's so much good, if you're ready to stop wasting time, if you're ready to have an experience and allow it to penetrate the God that you are so that you know it, not you believe it, Not that you're going to try your best. Not that, oh, because you see other people doing it, so you know it must be possible, but you know it in a way that it's incontrovertible, that it moves you beyond any fear. And you know that women in Italy can help you do that. You DM me. We need to get on the phone today before 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific to ensure that it's a good fit. And you can sign up with me on the phone with your $1,000 deposit, or you can pay in full if you want to. If you do choose to submit the $1,000 deposit, obviously we'll work out your payments. Payment is due, the full amount is due by August 30th. Okay, for those of you who are curious. Now, so DM me. We would get on the phone today before 6 o'clock if you'd like to move forward. Now, how do you, and I began already talking about the how part, like how do you start to allow yourself to be penetrated by your seed of aliveness in you that may be dormant, right? Is there, the assignment I gave you earlier, that is there, but is dormant. And on top of it is years of fear. On top of it is a story that you've been playing consciously or unconsciously that I can't do it. Now's not the time. I'm going to fail. What's going to happen? And this lack of trusting life, because so many of us, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Hello, hello, hello. Classy CEO, vegan lifestyle, Shakti. How many of you, feel welcome to share in the comments if you like, you've just had experiences like so many of us that have chiseled away at the natural trust for life that, for those of you who have children, your 1-year-old child has, your 2-year-old child. They don't, it's not even a thought of, will I be held? Is somebody going to drop me? Can I do this? They don't even have that yet because they haven't been corrupted by trauma. They haven't been corrupted by a mother who didn't love them. They haven't been corrupted by rape and abuse and people saying mean things to them and implanting scarcity. They just trust, right? You've seen the videos online of children ready to just like step off ledges without any awareness that they are going to fall and hurt themselves, right? Complete pure trust of life. And so when we've had all these experiences that chisel away at our trust, right? You become an adult, and because on the inside, you don't trust life, you don't trust your decision making, you don't trust the way you look at things, you feel scared of being in the full contact of life. You feel afraid of traveling alone. You feel afraid of going outside of what you're familiar with, what you're normal with, what your current identity level, what your current financial level allows. You're scared of doing anything outside of that. And so what you do as an attempt to create security for yourself, and there's a bounty, you latch on to external things to give you a feeling of security. It's all fake, but it's all you feel like you can have because you've disconnected from that natural trust you had as a toddler. So you'll grab onto a man. I've had women straight up hide behind men. I've done that before. So you'll latch onto that and hide behind him because you can. And being with him, you don't have to be in the full contact of life. You can play that role and he gets to have all the feelings and you stay there. You'll latch onto a job. It's soul sucking, but baby, I'm getting that check every 2 weeks or whenever you get that check. You'll stay in the same house or apartment for years. You want to move. You're tired of it. You're bored of it, but you're comfortable here. To move into another place in your city, in another city, that feels too risky. I'm too scared of that. What if something happens? Who's there? What about my health care? I don't have any friends. I don't know. That seems like too much. You'll grab onto belief systems that allow you to stay in your current reality. You won't even let yourself lean into something that risks the prison that you've created. To you, you call it safe. I feel safe here. Like Gwenna, who got fat so she could feel safe. And then in that meat suit of being fat and overweight became her prison. You can hear her talk about that if you go to the top of my TikTok profile, and she's at the very top. She and I are on video, and she's sharing very honestly in a way that most women will never say out loud, and they most definitely won't say it out loud on camera for the world to hear. She got fat, overweight, because it felt safe. And that safety became her prison. So then when she would look at dresses she wanted to wear, I'm not going to be sexy in that. So then depression kicks in because she's not able to express through her wardrobe. And so if you are in your own prison, if you are latching onto external things that give you a simulation of security, but no real security, how do you start to trust life again? Well, do little things that feel like they're a stretch for you. Is there something that you've been eyeing that you know would give you liberation and you have been avoiding saying yes to it? Say yes to it. Maybe go on instead of going like a far distance on a trip, because maybe you're scared to travel internationally or to another state. Maybe go to another city that's in your state, but you drive to it 2 hours and get a hotel there overnight. Maybe create your first piece of content sharing your story. Maybe don't even share the content, the video, but do it yourself at home with your camera on with the intent to be raw, with the intent to be free, with the intent to start to trust life to carry you. And then let me ask you this. Do you want to trust life? That's a good place to start. I spoke the other day about how the way the unconscious mind works, okay? I want us to remember that I feel like I can never say enough about this. Your unconscious mind is patterns that you don't know the root of. Like you keep living this way, but you don't know why. You keep doing this, but you don't know why. Your life looks like this, you feel a certain way, but you don't know why. Like Gwenna said, when she realized she was in a prison and she thought awareness was enough to get her free, and she realized awareness alone was not enough to get her free, she said, oh my God, I'm actually stuck. And she realized she was in this prison. And like, how do I get out of this reality when I live here? Like, I've created this in my own mind based with the stories that I've created. Because she said, I created the story that men are animals and they can't control themselves around a beautiful woman. But then she forgot the story. And that's what we do. We forgot that we told ourselves 17 years ago that I'm never going to be supported. We forgot that years ago we made up the story when we got raped, when our lover or father or our child's father or somebody did something or said something that cut at our heart in a particular way that made us distrust human connection. And so we won't even allow ourselves to connect with anybody because we forgot that we made the story that we can't trust people in life. People let you down. People hurt your heart. People are no good. And so then you come out here into the world and somehow you see all these opportunities where other people are connecting and talking gloriously about these opportunities, but somehow you're unable to connect with it. It feels so untrue. Like it's like untrue. That's fake. That they're not doing. Yeah, you believe that because of the story you created 12 years ago when your baby daddy told you you ain't shit and he left you with the kids, or you got raped, or somebody you trusted betrayed your trust. And you forgot, you told yourself that story and locked it in there the way Gwenna did about men. And so now there's no way you're going to let yourself come out here and deal with people when you got a deep unconscious belief that you completely forgot about, that you can't trust people. So then how do you start to get into that? As I've said many times, first you look at the results that you've created in your life that you no longer want to be a reality. So this is an admission on your part. When I had to say, oh my God, I'm stuck, because I noticed that every time, this is what Gwenna said, every time I go to lose weight and I start having positive results, I start to get anxious. So she can identify what the problem is. You need to identify what yours is. What is it? I've been wanting to write this book for 4 years, but somehow I just feel overwhelmed. I get scared. I get distracted. So then you're able to identify it. And then identify, well, what do you want to be able to do? I want to be able to write freely. I want to be creative. I want to say what I really mean. I want to publish the book. I want to sell the book. I want the book to heal people. I want people to know what I know. Like, you got to have that kind of clarity. So these are the things that you do to start to trust life again. You have to sit down with yourself and identify the problem and identify the desired reality you want. And then you work from there. If you want a tool from me, most definitely Heal Your Witch Wound. If you're feeling Women in Italy, that's a no-brainer. I mean, come on, let's go. Okay. But if you know you're not coming to Women in Italy, but you want a tool that's going to help you start to dig into you, the parts of you that you have repressed, that you're not supposed to be, that you know are undesirable, you sense are undesirable, that you're even scared of discovering about yourself, because then what does this mean? And the responsibility of it all. But you're like, okay, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to know who I am. I want this desired reality. I'm not wasting any more time. And now is the time. Heal the witch wound. I know I'm talking about it all the time because, yeah, and I'm going to repeat, I prefer everybody start with Shadow Gold just because it's deeper, it's more vast, it hits more areas within you. And the truth is, a lot of people can't afford Shadow Gold. If you can afford Shadow Gold, get it. That's another thing I'm happy to get on the phone with you about. If you have questions about it or that's another conversation I'm happy to hop on you on the phone with. If you know Shadow Gold is out of your budget right now, Heal Your Witch Wound. You can go to the link in my bio. Both of them are there. Both Heal Your Witch Wound and Shadow Gold. Okay? There's so much good. I have to go now. There's so much good. I'm pleased and delighted. Thank you so much, Shiva, if you end up watching this replay on YouTube. Thank you for your presence. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to shut YouTube down now and prepare to shut down TikTok. Do you all have any questions for me here on TikTok?